Jimmy Lewis. This is my wife and law partner, Alexa Lewis, and today we are going to be talking about legitimation. Alexa, tell me about legitimation.
Jimmy, what do you want to know about legitimation?
Everything.
Oh, okay, this could be a long video then. Okay, so legitimation is an action that in several states that needs to be filed by a father of a child born out of wedlock. So you've got two parents who have had a child, but they've not married one another. Now, of course, if they get married, that's going to be a different story. But in certain states, including the state of Georgia, a father doesn't have any legal rights to the child when the child is born, if they haven't legitimated.
Now, tell me this. What happens if a child is born in a state and signs the birth certificate, and under that state's law, that effectively is a legitimation? Is that followed here in this state?
So actually, yes, and I've had this case before. So what happens is let's take New York for example, because that's where the child was born in the case that I had. And the child was born in the state of New York. Both parties signed the birth certificate. So dad's listed as the father of the child. Both parties relocated to Georgia, and at that point, there was some discord between the parties. So they're not getting along, they end the relationship. Now, dad wants to have visitation with the child, but of course, under Georgia law, dad's not legitimated and has no legal rights. He would have to file a petition for legitimation. But the beautiful part about this is that in New York, since they recognize that dad signed the birth certificate and is in fact the legal father, that means that we can ask for judicial notice in Georgia to say, Judge, this father is already legitimated. He's already done that part. So now we're only talking about custody, visitation, and child support. So we've already gotten over that legal hoop.
Okay. Now, what happens if another state is similar to Georgia, same fact pattern, but they move here?
Okay, so now you're really looking at essentially what would happen if the child was born in Georgia and the parties hadn't legitimated. Okay. The father would file an action for legitimation, generally seeking things like custodial rights, visitation, child support at that point, and you'd push forward through the case as you would any other legitimation action. And so, Jimmy, can you explain to the viewers what legitimation itself actually means?
It is granting the father legal rights to the child.
And also granting legal rights of the child to the father. So you're talking about inheritance rights. So if we kind of go back a little bit, if the child isn't legitimated and the father passes away and has a substantial estate, that child doesn't have a claim because they're not technically the legal child of the father. So it is beneficial for fathers and for children for legitimation purposes. And that's, I think, how a lot of judges in Georgia look at it, that it's in the best interest of the child, which of course is the standard for determining legitimation.
If you have any questions about legitimation, give us a call at Shewmaker and Lewis.